Hey, what's going on, everyone? Aaron Murray here with your second Sunday edition of the QB film breakdown. Did Nico Iamaleava from Tennessee earlier. So if you didn't catch that one, go back and watch it. Very talented young man, and could be one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC when it's all said and done this season. A quarterback that we're going to be breaking down right now, Jalen Milroe, is one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. Brand new head coach in Kalen DeBoer, new offense. I know it's against a lesser opponent, but I just really want to get in here and see what does Jalen look like in this new offense? How comfortable is he already early on this season? And just overall the schematics of what is different for Alabama last year to this year. So let's break it down. He looked really good as expected, against the opponent that they went against, but a couple of things that still, a little bit of work is still needed for Jalen, but overall, I thought a really, really good football game for the Crimson Tide quarterback. So let's have some fun and start breaking it down. All right. First pass play. Empty, 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 empty. This is one right now where just find your check down. I think that's everyone's dropping. They're going to play some sort of cover two, Tampa two. Everyone's getting out of there. You see everyone's dropping. I mean, there's dropping. You should right now be able to eliminate any sort of down the field passing. Just say, you know what, like this ain't happening. And there's opportunity. One of two things. One, use your feet and find the check down. Right now, everything's dead down the field. Bam, let me hit my check down. And if you don't like that, and you say, okay, everyone's dropping, use your legs. You're the most athletic player on the football field. Just take off and run. So thought this was something trying to force down the field, ends up taking the sack. No one's open. So check it down, run, not the best start for Alabama. And that turns into the third play of the game too. They're going to bring what we call a cat blitz, a corner off the edge. And was not the smoothest of pre-snaps here. Guys moving around, a lot of communication. Kind of feels like everyone's still trying to figure some stuff out. But, good indicator that the corner's coming. You already have safety rotation. This safety's already rotated high. This safety is literally stacked on top of this corner right now. I mean, it is a dead giveaway that you're going to get some sort of pressure from the weak side. They pick it up. He's going to have a glance route. Does actually a good job of getting to the inside of the safety coming down, and Milroe just puts it too far inside of the receiver. Put it on his body, let him catch it. I know it's third and long situation. May not have gone the first, but at least you get a completion and give you about 7-8 yards of good field position there. Next one's going to be a pass play, or excuse me, a run play. So we're actually going to go to the high end zone. Nothing really to break down here. I just want to show just really good blocking. And this is an offense line that's going to be one of the best offensive lines in the SEC this season. And good job of pinning and pulling here. You're going to get a double team to the backer, and you're going to get pulling, and then there's another offense line, maybe the center, that ends up pulling as well, and it just opens up beautifully. So we'll get a good angle of this from the backside. Actually, it's the guard that pulls. So yeah, you got double team here. They'll work back here. He's got the cutoff. He'll take one, and then he'll wrap around. And honestly, he had no one really to block. This was a walk-in, but it's fun to watch Jalen run, especially in open field. Just how explosive he is as a runner. Sees it, puts his foot on the ground, and hasta la vista. It's we're out of here. So just a pretty cool view from the high end zone there. Let's change the view back to sideline here. It is an interesting one where to me, you got to throw it to the running back, and maybe he felt some pressure here, and didn't trust that his receiver was going to block. But you got one, you got two. He's at depth. This guy's not running out, so you have 3 on 2. You have 2 blockers for 2 defenders, and you have the running back going into the flat. Would have loved to see him just throw it, and maybe right there scared him a little bit. But once again, this is his job. You have to trust your receiver is going to block that nickel defender. You throw it out there, and you have 15 yards of separation. I mean, at the end of the day, too, if you didn't like it and you knew there's pressure off here, you could have stepped back and ripped it down to number 5 as well. So missed opportunity there. Ends up making something out of nothing, showing off his athleticism. Positive play, but you got to trust it and just rip it. third and medium area, usually we see a lot of man-to-man coverage. Teams don't want to give up easy zone completion. So, they're going to run a mesh concept. So it's going to be crosser, crosser, he'll motion down, he'll end up sitting about 10 yards in depth. He's kind of your zone. So in man, you want those two meshes to get a natural pick. If it's zone, those two crossers they'll find grass to sit down in, and then you'll have the middle of the field to have that tight end, working in the middle. They end up running a cover two. And as you see, just it's not built for zone. Like you want man-to-man coverage. Everything's covered. You got linebacker on him. You got this, hook player on him, this hook player on him. Just not what you want. So good job by Jalen stepping up, creating something out of nothing, and then Alabama being Alabama. Great athletes. It was good to see some of these receivers making plays, especially some of the young guys. An area that we all know needs to get better this year, along with Jalen throwing the football if they want to go to where they want to go. So good job making something out of nothing. Next, we're going to have a spacing concept. So we're going to go, spacing concept, you want to work across the board. So you're going to have one, he's going to run a stick, two, he's going to sit three, you'll have something over here, and then a wide. So you can work right across the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it is as West Coast as West Coast can be. It is as pure progression as pure progression can be. Just a quick hitter. But I think the problem with this is watch Jalen's feet. His feet are not to one. Like you don't know what's going on backside. Like you don't know that these are going to come open. Right now, yes, he's not open, but you still got to go 1 to 2. He's open. I mean, this is open. This is open. You can't pass up 2 because once again, you don't know if 3, 4, or 5 are going to be open. So I think he a little bit predetermined this one in my mind and gets off and gets to the completion. He gets to 3. I would just like, and you'll see this later in the game, I would still like to see his feet still work the progressions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because you would have taken 2 there. And then you can go back later in the game and get to 3 if it gets open. So, but don't pass up 1 and 2 if they're there right off the bat. All right, this is the big boy right here. They're gonna run just 4 verts. You're gonna have 1 vertical, 2 verticals gonna hit the middle of the field versus cover 2, and then the big boy down the field to the speedy freshman receiver. And you're gonna read the high safety. If he doesn't get off the hash, you launch it. If he gets off the hash, then you got the middle of the field. So right now they're presenting almost like a Tampa 2 pre-snap. So he's got the middle, almost like the deep third. He's now put in a bind where he has the responsibility of 1 to 2. And just like we talked about with Nico, most times these guys are going to take the inside guy, favor him just a little bit, just because this is such a far throw to the field and the outside. But man, if you've watched anything from Jalen a year ago, my man is not afraid to let it rip down the field. And hips, depth, width. We talked about in the first video that we posted about DJU a couple weeks ago when it comes to these safeties and some of these routes down the field. His width is not barely off the hash. His hips are pointing to the inside. This is just throw it as far as you can and let your receiver run underneath it and catch it. Beautiful thrown football. Once again, we know Jalen could do that. Good job reading the safety and a big touchdown to the young receiver. Appreciate everyone joining, by the way. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And let me know what other quarterbacks you want me to break down from week 1. So I'm kind of think I'm going to do Carson Beck. I'll do Cade Klubnik. Trying to think who else. Let me know if you have any thoughts. Love to. We're here to serve and hopefully educate everyone. So let me know what quarterbacks you want me to break down throughout the season. I have a lot of fun doing this, so it's a lot of fun for me to do. So let me know what you want to see. This is one where if you know coverage, you love man-to-man coverage. Like if you can recognize man, which is a little bit tough because you have off, he's off. So it's not like a ton of indicators that it's man. But if you just saying like, if you did know it's man and he's driving, you got this deep cross versus outside leverage and it pops. So this is more of just a recognition, sit back, say, okay, next time I'm in man-to-man coverage and we have this play, this is how it's going to unfold. Unless this safety is just driving on it, you could take this guy and the receiver does a really good job of flattening it off too. Very, very friendly route for the quarterback. Jalen just doesn't like anything, doesn't see that, takes off. And once again, is just the athlete that he is, making a big play and when he didn't see anything down the field. Yeah, this is interesting. We saw a couple times in this formation for Alabama, almost like a Tennessee esque type offense where you're going to get somewhat wide splits, not as wide as Tennessee to the field, but you're going to get your stack. Everyone kind of knows what's going on. You have the ability to throw just quick screens to the receivers on the outside. If you have a favorable box inside, you're going to hand it off. So if I'm Jalen, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in the box for 5 offensive linemen, plus a running back, plus you are technically a running back too. When you spread teams out like this, you can just see the field a lot better. It makes it easy. Like this is a hand all day long. Hand the ball off, great blocking up front, and then hasta la vista. We're off to the races, baby. And Alabama with another explosive play. But the formation set it up, made it really easy for Jalen to see, man, I'm just giving this ball off. There's no question about it. Let's roll it back real quick. Not really the throw you want versus. I mean, this is cover two all day. I mean, look where the safety is. It's cover two this side. I don't really want to be throwing the ball into the flat and getting my running back blown up. I mean, not a bad throw, but just not what you want. I would rather him, with honestly come. I would have worked a little bit more backside. You got 2-on-2. I know there's a high safety over here, but the middle of the field's wide open. Like when I take this snap, he's over here, he's over here, he's over here, he's over here. You got 1-on-1 here. You have a receiver on a linebacker. Let him do some work. He does a great job of breaking it across the face of the defender, and bam, I'm just saying, like you got to feel that as a quarterback, like middle of the field's open, it's vacant. Who's going to replace that? I know he's got to get inside, but still, it's a receiver on a linebacker. You take that matchup. You trust your guy is going to find a way to cross face and then use his athleticism to get around him. This is great by him. I love this play right here. It's just your basic deep cross concept. They're going to be running. Let me get the pause. So you're going to get, some sort of corner control here to hold the backside. You're going to get the deep cross, and then you're going to get the dagger. And usually, like the dagger is the last thing. Daggers, like you're stepping up into the pocket. Most of the time daggers are great versus cover two, which they're going to roll to a too high safety look. So you may be in the back of your mind, like, okay, if I don't like the deep cross, there's a good chance I'm gonna get to that dagger. So thought this was just really good by Jalen. Once his eyes are good, he's confirming coverage to the backside. He's confirming, hey, I don't like this. This is not, turn out to the way I want. But what does this area look like? Because I do have a deep cross coming from my number 2 receiver. Gets to the back, he sees it. He sees this, doesn't like that. He's off the deep cross. Boom, 1's done, 2's dead. Let me get to my dagger route, which is going to get, which is what we like versus cover 2 anyways. Feels the pressure, but stays in there. And I think there was a really good ball down the field for the completion and another touchdown. But that's a great progression there from Jalen Milroe. So I talk about, like, just because we would call this, when I was in Kansas City, we would call this star, based on whatever player ran the star, essentially option route from the outside. So they run it a little bit differently there. Everyone kind of gets in the same spot still, but he's going to run and sit in this general area. We're going to get a corner route, and we're going to get flat control. So really, it's 1, 2. It's funny, at Kansas City, we never hit the corner. So we ended up just turning this into a dig route, just because it just came to the quarterback's vision a little bit. It's a little bit easier in college, especially if you're on the hash to throw the corner. It's just a far throw in the NFL, regardless, either way to throw the corner. Most of the time, you're just going to hit this kind of sit down route versus zone. But Jalen does a good job confirming that, once again, these safeties have been playing pretty deep in their cover too. So you're going to have the ability to throw the corner. It all depends on this guy. You got to make sure that he comes down on your flat control. But once again, like, you don't see a lot of the corners thrown on this at the higher level, a little bit more in college. But you could, if you wanted to, rip it for a quick completion there. Doesn't like it. That's usually the first read. I think he's kind of feeling like, okay, I'm going to go read this corner right now because of the depth of the safety. I think he throws. This is probably one of his. This is great ball. He's thrown a lot of great balls, but to me, like not just throwing the ball deep down the field, but like going through a progression of a concept. I thought this was really well done by Jalen Milroe. Nice ball, high enough where you're not worried about the corner dropping back and intercepting it, and a good spot away from the safety. The receiver can catch it and just get out of bounds. This day we're going to get a little four verts here. Everyone's running verticals down the field. Same thing. It's Tampa too. You don't love it. You got he's way off the hash. He's way off the hash. Maybe to the field if you want to bend it in there. But I mean, you got this guy way back here. I'm just like I'm taking the snap. It's first down. It's first down. I know this is a shot play. You're first down just inside the 40-yard line. But when I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 getting depth, dropping 8, just find your running back right now. Find your running back. That's a completion. You got him one-on-one with him. At least 5 yards. At least that's if he makes a tackle with 5 yards of space. Like this is just give it to the back. This is just Jalen. This is year 2 processing. Everyone dropped. Where's my back? Boom, take completions. Take completions. And it's going to help you later on when teams then get greedy. Go back to watch the Tennessee tape I posted earlier today. Tennessee's running the ball, running the ball, running the ball, running the ball. Safeties got sick of it. They came up and then big plays down the field. So I just think for Jalen, that next stage is taking some of those check downs, working on that intermediate passing and not just being a guy that throws the ball, 15, 20 plus yards down the field over and over again. Where are we at? We're on the right. No, one more play down. This is just them running, the RPO game with the tight end in the flat. Good read by him. That's a good ball. It's a tough angle to throw this one. So I'm not worried about, hey, the ball, made the tight end turn a little bit, but you're just reading this guy. If he comes in at all, you're throwing the flat and you got 1, 2, and he has to make a guy miss in the open field. So good read, ball's good. I think I said it's an awkward angle to throw it. And then good play by the receiver, I believe, was able to get the first down or at least close to it. We're going to get, mesh concept again. This goes back to something we talked about earlier with just where his feet are. So we're going to get mesh. So it's 1, 2, you'll have a sit down here, great versus man. But they're actually going to tag an Omaha route. So an Omaha is a 4-step speed out. Ends up being, usually you want to get about 6. They run there's a little bit deeper. But what I want you to see, and I think he makes a good decision. You get free access, off coverage, single high, like good job. Ends up being, you see the receiver. Look at the receiver. He kind of slows down a little bit, and he put on his body great. But let's go back to in the pocket. Look where Jalen's feet are right now. Where are they pointing? Where's his shoulders pointing? To me, it's this way. His shoulders are this way. Where does this ball need to be? You're throwing the ball to the outside to the field, which is, very dangerous already, especially against good corners. And so this may get away in this one, but going forward against elite corners in the SEC, this is when you get in trouble. He needs to be feet, eyes, shoulders, throwing the ball towards the sideline. So like we talked about earlier with the spacing concept, his feet and eyes weren't to number 1. This is kind of the same thing. Like you need to get your body going in the right direction where you're not having to sidearm it. And then it causes this ball not to really come out with a lot of juice. I mean, that ball is kind of fluttering, receivers waiting on it. So I think for Jalen's like one thing that you see over and over again is like get your feet in the right spot, heading in the right direction, feet in the ground, and then allows your body to work properly to throw the ball a little bit more juice, better accuracy. Because like I said, that in SEC, that ball's hanging up there like that inside. That may be a pick 6. Last one from Jalen, only played I think the first half. They were just kicking some butt. Just a pretty cool, just option route. Let's see if we can get the high end zone on this one. Actually, it just shows you just once again just demonstrating how athletic he is. They're going to go option, I believe, off this guy. He fakes it, boom, gets north. puts a foot in the ground, and then man, just a powerful, powerful, powerful runner for another touchdown for Jalen Milroe. So overall, great game from him. A couple things like fundamentally, and sometimes you would like to see him take the check down, but he looked really good in the offense. I think the offense is going to be significantly better than it was a year ago schematically. You just have a better offensive staff. You have a coach that's more of an offensive coach. He's going to get better each and every week. He's miles ahead of where he was a year ago, and I think it's only going to get better and better and better and better and better and better. So, good first game for Jalen. I give it just an A minus. I think some of the footwork stuff needs some improvement, but A minus, big win, great win for Alabama, and it's on to the next. So appreciate everyone tuning in once again. Like, subscribe, and let me know what other quarterbacks you want me to break down this week. We'll see you next time on Snaps.